Alright, so while that video is rendering, I have the other topic in which I'm going to talk about. So I decided to do this literally right after the other video. So you're probably seeing this tomorrow, my tomorrow, which is your today, which is my yesterday. What? Yes. This is recorded the day before it's uploaded. Wow, guys. No way. Okay, so this is about credibility. And credibility is something that everybody wants to have, right? Everybody wants to be right about something and have their opinion be valid and thought about and considered as correct, right? Or at least, people want to listen to you and think that you're important and think your opinion matters. The way that I think about it, and this is kind of like fake credibility. If you say something like, let's just like, I'm kind of like diving ahead of myself, but I know this sounds bad, but that line right there is good and bad for a reason. If you say, I know this sounds bad, but I accidentally ran over your dog, or something like that, and you'll think, oh man, what do you mean? And they're like, oh, I ran over a hot dog chew toy or something like that, and you're like, ha ha ha. Well, whatever. You can have it like that, or you could have it like, I know this sounds bad, but, and then say something like, oh, we need to rob this house or something for money for my family, and you justify it by saying, oh, my family needs it, but in reality, it doesn't make it any better because you said, I know this sounds bad, but it doesn't make the situation any better. But it makes the person believe that it's better. Does that make sense? So if I said, okay, I know this sounds bad, but we need to rob or steal something from your friend so I can afford X for my brother. Well, if I just said something like, we gotta go steal this from your friend so that my brother can have something else, you'd be like, hell no. But but then you might be considering it because I said that first line. I know this sounds bad, but the only time that this is good is when there's some sort of justification, right? Like, if I said it in a different way, this may sound wrong, or this may sound false. However, like if you said something about statistics, like, I know this may sound false, however, 95% of all statistics are made up on the spot. You said something like that. Well, there's literally no added credibility to it just because you think, oh, the people might think it sounds wrong. Well, that's because it is wrong. Well, unless there's some justification to back it up, it's completely worthless. And then the other one, the first one, you're basically saying, like, I know, you're giving like false credibility to it. Like you're basically saying, oh, I'm aware of this situation that's happening. Of course you're aware of the situation that's happening. It doesn't add anything. But just because you're aware of the situation, does that add any credibility to you? I guess I would ask as a question for you guys to answer in the comments. Or acknowledging that it doesn't. So let's say I know this sounds bad, but we gotta go take your friend's car down to the store because I bought something that I wasn't supposed to, or I stole something or whatever, I want to return, whatever, I don't know. And then you're like, I know that it doesn't really make it any worse or any better that I said that, but I really need your help or whatever. Does acknowledging that your false credibility doesn't give any credibility give it credibility because you're aware of that? If that makes sense. I'm aware of the fact that my manipulation of you shouldn't manipulate you. Because that's kind of a weird thought to think about. And then for me, yes, it does. And here's why. Not on a very specific circumstance. Let's say you ask a plumber a science question, right? And he says, "Oh, I'm not a math whiz, or or I'm not a science whiz, but here's my take on it," right? It's like it's taking away credibility that he would have. So there's a thing to think about. But anyways, as I was going with this, was if you ask a plumber a question about biology or something like that, and they give you one of these other answers, like, oh, this may sound false, but I don't think it adds any credibility to it, because that's not their field, right? You'd have, in a general sense, if I ask somebody and they're knowing that their false credibility is false, that would be, I would think, more highly of them, because in a general sense they're more intelligent to understand that situation, or understand that when other people do it, or understand that this is a thing to worry about, or this is a thing to consider, right? And that would be in line with somebody who does more deep thinking, and therefore, in my opinion, would be more intelligent. However, it's not always the case. Than somebody who doesn't know. But if you're asking, again, a plumber a biology question, that's like completely out of line, and there would be no correlation. I think maybe slightly, it's like in general, like the person would be smarter, but I highly doubt that they would get the question right or know anything about the topic, right? It's really, intelligence is a very weird topic to talk about, because people are smart in different ways, or people are good at different things, right? Like, you can have somebody, and I'm moving stuff, I'm sorry. You can have somebody who can totally build a house from the ground up, but you ask them any sort of science question, they have no clue. But you would say that person's intelligent when they're doing something that they're good at, right? They know a lot about this topic. Obviously, they can build an entire house, but they don't know about everything, right? And so it's very hard to gauge intelligence. But that's for another video. This video was only about the credibility and like it's a very weird concept. There's probably more that can be added on to this, and if you want to add more in the comments, I would love to hear it, and I can feature it in future videos if you have something of value to say that I find like either entertaining or very important to the discussion, things like that, and then reference you and stuff. So yeah, that's really all I have to say about that topic. But yeah, I have to go to the bathroom. so I'm going. But I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. I gotta make sure I'm hitting the stop recording button instead of the start streaming button. That would be bad.